Hello there. For today's video, I'm going to teach you how to blend some paint. This is probably the most frequent comment that I get on my videos. I have some oil colors here. These are oil paints. And then I have some acrylic paints. First, I'm going to show you how each type of paint blends, and then we're going to try to paint an avocado. Mainly because with an avocado, it's got the lighter center green and then the darker green around the rim. So it's a blending. I might go brown while I'm filming this, but we will see. Basically though, when it comes to painting, blending's not that hard. It's something that seems a lot harder than it is. You're filling in the colors and then you're mixing those colors together and blending them together to create an image. Good. And let's go. To start out, we are going to blend acrylic paint. The acrylic craft paints that I'm using today are really runny, so although there looks like there's a lot of paint on my palette, actually the low viscosity of the paint has made it spread out more. To keep it basic, we're going to blend a straight line of yellow to blue. I'm going to place some of the lighter blue in the center section of the canvas. And to the right of that, I'm going to paint a patch of darker blue. I'll add more of each color to each side until they meet in the middle. To blend, I'm lightly running my brush up and down into each of the colors. I will continue going back and forth until I'm happy with how it meshes together. Now I'm going to blend a yellow on the left side into the lighter blue. I've mixed a bit of white paint into the yellow to help tone it down. However, you do want to be careful and keep it a pale green in the middle rather than a darker green. You do this by blending more of the yellow color across into the blue rather than the other way around. To darken the blue for the other side, I'm going to mix some red paint into the blue. Where possible, you do want to use colors like dark blue, green, reds, and purples to darken a shade rather than black, because it'll create a richer tone and prevent gray accents from showing through. Next, after this coat has dried, we apply a second coat of paint using the same technique. Essentially here, we are painting the exact same painting on top of the first painting to give it that second coat. Second coats are very important when it comes to painting and definitely helps heighten the quality of the painting, making it look more seamless. Another element that can help blend acrylics is a gloss varnish. It makes it shiny, protects the painting, blends the colors a bit, and takes away the chalky effect that acrylics have. Now onto the oil paint. Oil paints can be very thick. As you can see, the paint didn't spread out like it did with the acrylic. To help dilute them and make them easier to spread, you can use linseed oil. You don't need to use too much of the oil. I just put a tiny dash into a little cup, dip my brush in the oil, and mix it with a bit of the oil paint I wish to use. This time we're going for a rainbow coloration. As with acrylic, you blend the oils by swishing your brush back and forth. Be sure to clean your brush thoroughly when switching between oil colors though. Unlike acrylic, oils are harder to fix and harder to paint over. Often you have to scrape the paint off the canvas before you can apply a different shade. The main ingredient to paint is the dry pigment, which gives it its color. And the second ingredient is the wet binder. Since the binder in acrylic paints is water soluble, they dry very quickly. They also dry a few shades darker, whereas oil paints use oil as the resin ingredient, keeping the colors vibrant, but they can also take up to a month to dry and 3 months before a varnish can be added on top. Because it takes longer to dry, you can blend oil paints days or sometimes weeks after you started the painting, so they're great for blending exercises. It also means that you can start a painting, not worry about your paint drying out, and come back to it a few days later, which makes this style of painting more time manageable. Now onto how to paint an avocado. I have a canvas here and I'm going to start out by sketching. We are painting from still life, which means the object is in front of you while you are working. I'm going to be doing this in acrylic paint so it's easier to do layers and so I can varnish it at the end. To start, we draw the shape of the avocado with a colored pencil. It almost looks like the shape of a jelly bean with a smaller top. And we add a circular shape in the center with a bit of a pointed top for the seed. I'm going to add pale greenish yellow paint around the seed and blend it out to the edges of the avocado. You want to go almost to the full ends because you're going to be blending the darker green into it. Start with just a slightly darker green around the rim, going back and forth into the pale yellow. Add a bit more pale yellow where needed. Now we paint the seed. Find the medium brown shade between the lightest brown you see in the seed and the darkest brown. Paint the entire seed this color. Once it dries, blend a lighter brown into the center and darker brown around the base and edges of the seed. You might have to pull some of that medium brown back to help blend the shades together. Now for the shell of the avocado. Trace the avocado with a light brown, then on the outer rim, finish it off by lining it with black paint. Now we repeat all the steps to add another layer of paint to the painting. We are essentially painting the entire painting again on top of our current work. Also, because it's the final coat, we are going to really tone this up. So we're going to add some darker green finally around the rim, blending into the pale green, blending into the pale yellow. And you can already see the difference a second coat makes in helping fine-tune the blending of the colors. We repaint the seed again. To give texture to the seed, I added some lines of white and tan. And to keep up with the blending theme, I added some light blue blended around the edges. Then once it was dry, I sprayed it with the gloss varnish, and here is the finished avocado. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you know a bit more about blending right now. It's actually a really nice avocado. Lovely little avocado. We also have this lovely spectrum, the oil paint. I am going to be starting a Q&ART series next week. It was meant to be this week, but I've had a bit too much work going on. Yeah, so in the comments below, if you could please leave an art question or an art challenge, I'd be very appreciative. I will have some details next week about my gallery show that I'm hosting. Also, at the end of the month, I am going to be at MCM Comic Con on the Friday and Saturday. Again, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye, 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 bye.